Hey, Nora,
Hey, Nat.
do you know what the best place is to organize a pig race?
A pig race?
A pig race. What's the best place to organize a pig race?
I don't know.
Buckingham Palace.
Okay.
Buckingham
Yeah,
Palace.
I got it.
Was that not worth the setup?
I don't know. I was thinking Hamburg for some reason, but that's a cow. It's beef. It says ham
That
in it.
that joke brings home the bacon.
Here we go.
What are we talking about this week?
We are talking about our trip in London.
Welcome back to the Norah and Dad show. It's been a bit since we recorded. We took off for winter break. I'm Dad. I'm here with Norah, who's back safely down at college. Yeah, we took off while you were studying for finals and then for winter break. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How was your first 3 days back at college?
Cold.
Cold. Oh, and apparently exhausting because you're yawning, which is
I
so
haven't been
exciting for the
sleeping.
audience to have you yawn through the show. You haven't been sleeping. Why not?
Not at night. I don't know. I've had a hard time sleeping.
Oh, I'm sorry to
So
hear that.
it's okay.
Is it like not used to being back in a dorm bed or what, or what's the deal? Or not
No,
used
I
to having
love my
like,
dorm bed.
or is it like the noise in your bedroom or?
I have my headphones.
Okay. Stressed about the new semester?
I shouldn't be. I dropped my class.
You dropped your class. You
Yeah.
dropped your like a poli-sci, like a political science class that you weren't digging.
Yeah. You can just go on.
Makes your semester a little more manageable.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Much more manageable. Much more manageable.
So it was great to have you home for, I think you were home for like, do you want to like pause and get a coffee or yeah. It was great to have you home for 5 weeks.
I was
We
working for most of it, but yeah.
we kind of miss having you around the house. It was nice having you home.
I'll be back.
I know you'll be back. But while you were home, we did hop on an airplane and jet off to London for 5 days over Christmas.
Which was awesome.
On the pantheon of family vacations, like where does that one rank? I thought it was a pretty awesome vacation.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a right on, really. It was like the perfect amount of, like, we did a lot of stuff, but was also really relaxing.
My favorite, I think, was Rome.
Rome, Italy was a good vacation too. I mean, I've not, yeah, I guess it was a different kind of vacation. I don't know, but I just thought we were busy while we were in London. Like our days were packed pretty busy, but I also felt
But they weren't too busy.
I felt so relaxed. So do you want to talk about it chronologically, or do you want to talk about like your favorite parts of the trip?
We can do chronologically. I feel like
We
makes
can do
sense.
chronologically. So we flew from here to New York City. A little bit of drama the morning of our flight
I
to
forgot about
London.
that.
So I'm getting ready. We're getting ready to leave the house. We had a 9. I think it was a 10 a.m. flight out of Cleveland to catch our connection at JFK in New York to go to London. And we're getting ready to leave for the airport. Uncle Mike was picking us up to drive us to the airport. And your Uncle David texted me to say, I hope you're not flying American Airlines. And I texted back, I said, we are flying American Airlines. Why do you hope we're not? And he said, because they're having some massive computer issue and they've grounded all their flights nationwide. So we actually got to the airport on Christmas Eve morning, not knowing if we were going to get on a plane or not.
I did. I knew.
You knew?
Yeah.
And and you were right. The ground stop lasted it lasted about an hour and a half, and then the planes started flying again, and our connection, our plane coming to get us was a little late. So we took off I think we were in the air by about noon. So maybe 2 hours delayed, an hour and a half, 2 hours delayed, which was fine because we had a 7-hour layover in New York. Because I like nice, for this exact reason, I like nice and long layovers when I fly internationally, just to account for things like this so we don't like miss a plane across the ocean. And so instead of a 7-hour layover, we had like a 5-hour layover, and it worked out. We had time for a meal and then to get to the gate, and then our overnight flight to London.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad of a flight. I don't like flights, but it wasn't terrible.
You did fine on the plane. It
Yeah.
was the most relaxed I've seen you on an airplane.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, you are historically not the best flyer.
No.
Was it the plane to Portugal that you had a panic attack at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, because Donovan kept elbowing me.
That's not a reason to have a panic attack.
Yeah, for me it was.
But you slept pretty good on the plane, I think, going over on the way over to London.
I got like 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's
2 or 3
and that's
hours.
all you need. And so we got to London. Our car picked us up at the airport. Fun fact: in London, so we landed Christmas morning, and the subway, shuts down. There's no trains at all, no public transportation at all in London. So I booked us a car service. The car came and picked us up and took us to our swanky hotel with hopes that our room would be ready so we could catch a quick nap.
And
it was not. But they did hold our luggage for us, and we took a walk. We walked through.
No, we got Starbucks first.
We got Starbucks. Important when I've been on red eye. Important to have Starbucks. Starbucks conveniently located right next door to the hotel. And then the hotel was conveniently located right across the street from Kensington Gardens, and then which connects to Hyde Park. So we took a nice Christmas morning stroll through the parks. Saw
beach was.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing to do in London on Christmas morning is you take your dogs for a walk in the park because everybody was out with their dogs. We saw the Peter Pan Cup swim race, or at least the aftermath of the Peter Pan Cup swim race through the pond at Hyde Park. It looked very cold. It wasn't the coldest day. It was probably in like the low 50s, but all those people that were in their swim trunks were like, their bodies were like bright pink from the cold. It looked really, really, really cold. But that's been going on for over 150 years, every Christmas morning in London. So it was pretty cool to see a little bit of local London stuff. And then they texted us that our hotel room was ready, so we actually got to go catch a snooze for a couple hours before Christmas dinner. What do you think of the hotel? I thought the hotel was pretty awesome.
I was very content. The robot toilet was a little freaky. I don't like, I don't know, it was too like high tech.
What robot? It had like so we stayed at, I'll put a link down. I'll put links to everything we talked about. I'll put down in the show notes. But we stayed at this place called the Hucks, which is just catacorner to the southwest corner of Kensington Gardens, just a block from the tube station in Kensington, which was really convenient. And it was a very like swanky, kind of funky hotel. There were stuffed animals everywhere. And by
Not
stuffed animals,
like
I don't mean
taxidermied
like
animals.
teddy bears. I mean like taxidermed, like big game, like a giraffe and
We had a peacock in our room.
We had a peacock in our room, they said that they were all animals that had like died of natural causes. So it's not like.
No, they had it on their window.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's not like Don Jr.'s out like shooting lions and then bringing them to this hotel to have them taxidermed and put on display.
No, they were animals that died in conservation.
Yeah, so we had somehow we ended up in the penthouse. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but
probably the first room that was open was my guess.
Maybe, but we ended up in the penthouse, which was really nice. We had our own private elevator. They've never had a hotel room with an elevator before. That was pretty cool. And it was a very kind of funky, we had a peacock like just in the living room of the hotel room, just this like on display. It's full display. That's 2 out of 3 vacations with peacocks.
Yeah.
Last time the peacocks were alive.
That's true.
Yeah, this time not so much. Nice dinner, Christmas night at an Italian restaurant.
It was really good.
Not too far from the hotel.
They have good Italian food in London.
They do. They have good food, period, in London. But then walking to dinner, we walked past this hotel that had a plaque out front about how the Rolling Stones had a big like record release party there. So we stopped there for a drink after dinner at the pub at the Gore Hotel, and there was like Rolling Stones like pictures and portraits kind of all over the walls, and had a cocktail and then called it an early night on because we had been I mean, it was
long.
I mean, we had left Cleveland, left our home at 7 o'clock the morning before, and it was already, 5 o'clock or whatever, the 10 o'clock London time the next day. So it'd have been a long couple days
Yes,
of
definitely.
travel. Day 2, Beatles tour.
It was okay.
It was okay.
I think for all our listeners, if you end up going to London, I think you could very easily Google things that are related to the Beatles and do the tour yourself, and it would probably be more enjoyable.
But you would miss out on all the wisdom from the Beatles,
brain of Britain.
The Beatles brain of Britain, who you said
he spat on me.
Left a lot of his DNA on you.
Not intentionally.
During the tour.
But he just was very, he talked really loud and then spit would come out of his mouth.
He was a very moist talker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the tour was interesting. The highlight obviously was going to Abbey Road and getting to walk across the crosswalk and having our picture taken to recreate the Abbey Road album cover was the highlight of the tour.
I think I liked the Ted Lasso tour that we did more.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So that was day 2. We tried to hang around because we were right in the heart of like Soho was where the bulk of the tour was. And that's also where the bulk of a lot of London's Christmas lights are. And so we tried to, it was no
Don't
bueno.
go to Soho on Boxing Day.
No bueno for the Christmas lights. Obviously it's the big shopping district in London, Oxford Street, Carnaby Street, which is where all the big Christmas lights are. And it's also where everybody goes on Boxing Day, which is a big national holiday in the UK for all the post-Christmas sales. And crowds don't normally make me anxious. It was too much.
It's because nobody knew which way to walk. That was the issue. If there would have been an order of you walk this way on the road, but everyone was walking whatever direction they wanted to. So regardless how you were walking against the grain.
See, here's my assumption, right? In the US, we drive on the right side of the road. So when you walk on the sidewalk, you walk to the left or walk to the right, pass left, and then the people walking the opposite direction are walking on their right. And so there's an orderly flow of
so you think it would be the opposite.
Right, that you would walk on the left and pass on the right. And then, but people were just walking in every direction on both sides. So there was no rhyme or reason to it. And the sidewalks
there was a lot of tourists too. So that was probably part of it as well, as confusion of which side to walk on.
Yeah. So my hopes of seeing all of the beautiful Christmas lights in London were dashed, but we got to see some, and we got to go to Third Man Records to complete the triple crown of Third Man Records. So we've now been to Detroit together, we've been to Nashville separately, and now we've been to London together for those Third Man Records being Jack White's.
It was a tiny shop.
Jack White's shop. Yeah, tiny.
Oh, the downstairs is really cool. Nashville was pretty small too.
Yeah,
Detroit's
I didn't see
definitely the largest one.
I didn't see the performance space in Nashville.
I didn't either.
They had the Blue Room downstairs in Nashville where they have the bands perform. I didn't see that. The performance room, which is where we were in the London store, I mean, I don't think they could fit 20 people down there for a show.
No, it's tiny.
It was really tiny. And then we called it an earlier night on Boxing Day. We had a quick dinner at a little chicken place.
Was it the chicken place?
Yeah. We had a quick dinner. Yeah, the food was good. But we didn't have a bad meal, I don't think, in London.
No, I didn't like my drink though. It was adventurous. I didn't like it.
Oh, you got a rum and Coke.
Coke, yeah.
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 Yeah. So that was day 2. Day 3 was our big football day. That was the reason why we went over to the UK, was to watch the football match, was to go see the Arsenal match. We did some touring around the morning. We went to see kind of the sights, Big Ben and Parliament and the London Eye, London Tower Bridge. We walked by Tower London, but we didn't go in, and saw some other sites kind of in that part of town. We rode the water taxi down the Thames.
That was awesome.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. But it was cool to see all that stuff. And so it's like you can't go to Paris and not see it's like you can't go to London and not see Big Ben. So it was fun to go see that stuff. But the highlight was the football match, which you really enjoyed.
I did. Did you think I wasn't going to?
I wasn't sure you're a sports person, so I'm
not. But I liked seeing the Lakeridge soccer games.
Yeah.
And that's on a much lower scale.
It is on a much lower scale. So football tickets in the UK are impossible to get. You have to be a member of the club to buy tickets to the match. And there is 100,000 person wait list for Arsenal tickets. We went to see Arsenal play, which is Donovan's, your brother's favorite team. If you're a member of the club, if you go to want to get tickets now, there's a wait list of 100,000 people. So you'd be like the 100,001st person on the wait list for tickets, which is nuts. So we bought hospitality tickets. In England, they don't recognize like StubHub and all that. All those secondary ticket markets are really sketch over there. There's a chance that your ticket won't be honored if you buy it through the secondary market. And so I didn't want to risk it. So we splurged on what are called hospitality tickets, which either the club sells directly or they sell them through a licensed authorized reseller. And it comes with their club seats. You get club lounge access before the game. You get a meal. You get 4 beverages before the match. And I don't know. I mean, I guess you could pound 4 beers before in the 2 hours.
But we also
before
came
the
pretty
game.
late.
We got there about an hour and a half before. So that was my fault. I didn't plan that. We should have taken full advantage of the lounge for the full 2 hours, but I just probably would have drank more beer. So maybe not. But your brother got to drink cider for the first time.
I chugged a glass of wine.
You chugged a glass of wine. Your brother was he was all jazzed up for the cider. He was very excited. Very excited for the cider. Match was good. Arsenal won. Arsenal won 1-0. Fun match to watch. The crowd was jazzed up for the whole game. We almost saw a fight walking back to the tube.
That was actually honestly just as fun as the match, was walking back to the tube afterwards.
Well, first of all right, so we bought our tickets. I had to check a box to certify that we would not root for the opposing team. Number one, all the opposing fans, they do have a section in the stadium that is for the opposing fans. They sell tickets to the one section to sell to the opposing team's fans. That section was the only section with security around it.
They were a loud minority.
They were a loud minority. As we walked to the stadium from the tube station, all the pubs we walked past all had signs that said no Arsenal fans only, no opposing fans allowed. And then walking back to the tube after the game, we were in a huge crowd of people, including some Ipswich fans with the team that Arsenal played. And there's quite the argument going on.
Well, they were all drunk and they were all pushing buttons.
They were all pushing buttons.
And it was a useless argument. It was like, your team's better than mine and I would know because blah, blah, blah.
But there was a guy next to us that was not involved in the argument. The argument was going on to our right. There was a guy to our left. And we're like, do we need to be worried about this? And he's like, nope, that's what you call a proper British argument. And we're like, okay. He's like, it's all good fun. They're having a proper British argument. And so we got to witness a proper British football argument. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And they were going at each other. The Ipswich fans were like, we know we're a shit team and you only beat us 1-0. And so how good can your team be? Because you're supposed to be this great Arsenal and you only scored 1 goal on us. And the Arsenal fans.
And this poor woman got involved.
He was like, how many games have you been? It was like, want to know how many games the guy went to. Like, how many games have you been to? And he's like, I could go to all of them. And he's like, well, have fun going to see. He picked a team in the lower league that they play after they got relegated next year. I forget which team. But have fun going to some little town to watch your team play next year. They won't be playing in London because they're going to get relegated because they're not. I was laughing. It was funny.
And then this woman got involved because she was like, there's people that live here. Like, we can't be yelling. And then they started yelling even more.
Oh, from the balcony upstairs. She was leaning out her window.
Yes.
Yeah, she was leaning out her window. Right. Because we're walking like through this neighborhood in London to get to the tube. Right. And massive crowd of drunken football fans. Anyway, it was very entertaining. And then, so that was the 27th. The 28th.
Mom's birthday.
Was Mom's birthday. And quite the birthday she had in London.
That was my favorite day.
That was a good day. So we started with tea.
Oh my God, it was so good.
We got a little bit of a late start because didn't get in from the football match. I don't think it was till after midnight that we got back to the hotel after the football match. Which day did I knock the thing off the wall at the hotel?
Was that the day after?
Was the day after?
Yeah. It was the day before we left.
They have like these heads, like mounted heads. And I didn't think I touched it, but I think You think I touched it, or Mom thought I touched it?
I think, we were both touching them throughout the entire time. We would pat it on our way down.
Right.
And we didn't move. So I think, because I was doing it too, and I think you just got unlucky, and the one that you just did to pat fell on you.
It was like a buffalo with these giant horns, and it landed on my foot, but it didn't. I don't think it missed my head by that much.
It didn't.
And that thing was heavy.
It was only being held up by one screw.
There was one screw with a molly, but one screw holding this like 100-pound head on the wall. I'm gonna say not my fault, even if I touched it, and I don't think I did.
I think you did, but that's okay.
So we got in late from the football match, and so we got a little bit of a late start on your mom's birthday, but we started going to see Buckingham We did not see the changing of the guard while we were there, which I was okay with, because
me too.
It's just, it's, again, I think there's two ways to vacation. There is when you go to places like London or Paris or Rome or whatever, there is we need to make sure we check all these boxes because we're coming to London. And so there's things that people tell you have to do when you go to London. So make sure we check the box, or you just do what you want and what you find interesting. And I think we're more the latter. You do what you want and what you find interesting.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, we have to see the changing of the guard because we're in London.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I did want to see Buckingham Palace. So we went to Buckingham Palace to see at least the guards. Even they weren't changing, they were just marching back and forth. And then took a stroll over to the Cleveland Clinic, which is right next to Buckingham Palace. So your mom could visit the Cleveland Clinic in London, since she works for the Cleveland Clinic.
Confused when we walked in.
I'm like, oh, we're from the real Cleveland Clinic in like Cleveland. And
can we take a picture?
Can we take a picture of my wife who works there by the sign? He looked perplexed, but he was chill with it. And then we went to tea at this posh hotel right nearby, which I understand is the hotel that the royals like use by Buckingham Palace, the Goring Hotel, for a very proper British afternoon tea. And it was
I want to do that for my birthday.
Go to London and have tea?
Or just have posh tea somewhere.
Just have posh tea somewhere?
It was so nice. I had chai, and they gave you champagne, and you also got water. So you had 3 drinks. Yeah, so it was
champagne. It was their festive holiday tea. So it did come with an optional glass of champagne, which, of course, why wouldn't you opt the glass of champagne, right? Donovan opted for the mocktail. He wanted to save his beverage for dinner.
I had a lot of beverages that day. I had 3.
Yeah, that's okay. You were on vacation, and you were of age there.
That's true. I did get carded.
The drinking age is 18, 16 if you're with an adult and you're being served food.
But not all places.
Not all places. We did try to go. Donovan and I did try to go down to the bar at the hotel, and we were denied. He was denied entry because
and the gin place
because he was. Oh, that's right. Because he was under 18. And we did try. I did make a reservation at a gin bar, and we were denied entry because Donovan was under 18, which is fine.
When he gets into school, we can go visit again.
Yeah, your brother has now decided he does want to go to university in London, which 1,000% behind.
Connor was asking about that because I told him, he said, how do your parents feel about that? And I said, they're excited to be able to visit.
I mean, so here's what I told your mom. And Donovan will listen to this, and so he'll hear this too. He's not always been the most enthusiastic person about school. Like he goes because he has to go, but if he had his choice, like he would choose not to go. He's just not the most enthusiastic student. He's really excited about this. So if going to London will get him excited about going to college and studying and all that, then I am 1,000% behind the idea of your brother going to London for university, because if that's what he wants to do.
Because it's an excuse to visit.
And it is also an excuse to visit. So we had posh tea at the Goring. I chose it primarily because they offered a gluten-free tea service, which a lot of places do, apparently.
But it was really good.
But the gluten-free for your brother was ridiculous. I mean, the pastries were identical to what we had.
And the sandwiches were identical. And the scones were even bigger than the ones that we have.
His scones were better than ours, I thought. I thought the gluten-free scones were better than the gluten scones. the pastries looked identical. I didn't taste his pastries, but they looked identical. And the sandwiches were identical. He had gluten-free bread, but I tasted it. And it tasted as the same as the regular bread. So
Sandwiches are really good.
yeah, major thumbs up to the Gorin for a very enjoyable tea. From there, we went over to see some more of the sites. We went over to Covent Garden, which was wall to wall packed with people. You did get your headscarf though, because
I've been wearing it.
because it was cold. You got to busk for a few minutes
I did. I played tambourine.
with a guitar player, singer who seemed less than happy with the fact that you were playing this tambourine, even though he had a sign that said pick up the tambourine.
And we gave him money. We tipped him first.
We did tip him. He had a sign that said pick up the tambourine and jam or join in or jam along, whatever. I just don't think he expected you to do it for like 10 minutes.
I didn't do it for 10 minutes. I did it for the rest of the song.
It was a long song. What song was it?
I don't remember. It was a song I didn't know.
I don't remember either. You didn't know the song?
No.
Oh, you were spot on with all of it. You had your little like chicka 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 flourishes with the tambourine and the rattles and it looked rehearsed.
Maybe people thought I was a plant.
Maybe. There were people that were videoing you.
Which is crazy.
Why is that crazy?
I was shaking a tambourine.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed watching you up there shaking the tambourine. You look having fun.
That was having fun.
And then from there we went to we killed time at a cocktail bar at 7 Dials, which is this cute little shopping area. It's like a circle with like 7 streets that come off it, hence the name 7 Dials. And we found a little cocktail bar there. We had drinks before dinner. And then we went to Hawksmoor Steakhouse.
So good.
Yeah, and they're all over the world. They're in the States too. They have one in Chicago and one in New York, a bunch in London. It was a ridiculously good steak dinner down at
I had the best cocktail in the world.
What did you get?
It was the cherry sour Negroni. But
Yeah,
so that was really good. And then, did they have bread? Yes, they did, and their bread was really good, and the lobster was really good.
Oh, and you did get a lobster.
And they brought out free dessert for Mom. It was great.
They did bring out free dessert for your mom's birthday. Yeah, we had a little wine. I had a steak. It was very enjoyable, which concluded the day of your mom, which was a great day. I encourage everybody to have a birthday in a foreign country with tea at the poshest of posh hotels, capped off with a steak dinner at a very fancy steakhouse. It was a heck of a day for your mom.
Or lobster.
Or a cherry sour Negroni.
Well, the lobster was better than the cherry sour.
Which brings us to our last day in London, which was the aforementioned Ted Lasso tour of Richmond, which was the other thing I was really looking forward to because maybe going to Richmond, which is a suburb, maybe a half hour outside of the city center. Maybe that's on everybody's bucket list of things to do when they're in London, but we're huge Ted Lasso fans, and I could not go all the way to London and I couldn't justify in my brain not taking the train out to Richmond to see the sights. And there is a Ted Lasso tour. Put the link down in the show notes.
And it was so
how
good.
to book if you're a fan, if you're over there. It was a great tour. It was really, it was cool to see the pub and, the alley where Ted's apartment is and the bench where Ted and Beer always have their coffee in the morning and all. That was really cool, but it was even cooler to see how they found spots around Richmond to film that looked like other parts and hear how like that would look like other parts of London. So like Rebecca's house, which is right on Richmond Green, it's like on the show, she lives in Chelsea, which is kind of a neighborhood south of where our hotel was, which is a really fancy neighborhood in London. But they found this house that looks like it would belong in Chelsea, so they could use the exterior of that house to film.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So just a really cool to see how they repurpose stuff around Richmond to make it look like other parts of London. So
it was really cute.
Yeah.
I liked they had a cute. We met someone from OWU.
Somebody from.
Well, we met someone's parents from OWU, actually.
He was not very friendly.
Whatever. His mom was nice.
His mom was very nice.
He didn't want to be there, is what his mom said. They'd never watched the show before,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be happy for us being dragged on a tour either.
Yeah, the mom was very nice. Yeah, and we did
My
a little.
favorite
Oh,
my
go
favorite
ahead.
part was the shop owner.
Yeah, we
He was
did.
really nice.
There's two Ted Lasso gift shops, and they're both on the little walking alley where Ted's apartment is on the show. One, they just opened the official Ted Lasso gift shop, which is owned by Warner Brothers. They have all official Ted Lasso branded merch. Donovan got a jersey there, or AFC Richmond jersey. Me, you, and your mom, we did not get stuff from there. We went to the gift shop down the street, which is the unofficial Ted Lasso gift shop. And I'll put that link in the show notes as well. There was this lovely Italian gentleman that owns this little clothing store that sells like
Embroidered
Ted
sweatshirts.
Ted Ted Lasso. I'm putting it in quotes because it's not licensed, so it's not, it's
Yeah, but like people on Etsy and stuff do that too.
right. So, but he airdropped me some videos of them filming the show outside his shop, and had stories of, the actors and what it was a very cool experience.
And the crew necks are really comfortable.
They are very comfortable. And then we finished with lunch in the pub, which is the same on the outside, different on the inside.
But we got the Ted Lasso table.
But we did get the Ted Lasso table. They do have a table in the back that is surrounded by Ted Lasso memorabilia. And so we did eat lunch at the Ted Lasso table at the pub on, right on the green in Richmond. It was at the food was, I thought the food was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all in all, a very cool day. You and your mom then went back to the hotel and took a snooze because you all were tired. Donovan and I soldiered on to Camden Town, to the Camden Market, which you would have really enjoyed because it's like hundreds of stalls of like vintage clothing and like rock and roll memorabilia.
I already spent my money though, so it would have made me sad if I went and I didn't buy anything.
Camden is a very like punk rock area it's like where the Clash got their start. They have Amy Winehouse was from there. They have an Amy Winehouse statue there.
That's nice.
So yeah, so it's a very it's a very eclectic, very kind of punky area of London. And you would have really enjoyed, your mom would have hated it, but you would have really enjoyed it. Surprise for me and Donovan was that when we went to go back, the tube station was closed. So we took the tube to Camden Town tube station. We then walked back to the tube station to go back to the hotel, and the tube station was closed. And so I'm standing there staring at this metal gate. Like, what do I do now? And
just go to another tube station.
Yeah. So, right. So there's this homeless woman sitting there, and she 5-minute walk, and she points down the road. And I'm like, oh, so I tossed a quid in her whatever she had sitting there, and off we went, 5 minutes down the road to the next tube station. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. So I said to Donovan, like, worst case, we could have walked back. It would have been a long walk. It would have been like a 3-mile walk, but we could have walked back to the hotel. Like worst case scenario.
If everything was down.
Yeah, if the tube was shut down, we would have walked back to the hotel, but we did get to the next tube station and got back. And that was London.
It was great.
I want to go back.
Recommend.
I feel like we just scratched the surface of what there was to see and do in London in the 5 days we were there.
Yeah, I want to go to other parts of the UK, maybe more northern or southern, because you're kind of in the middle. So
we were talking. So when Donovan decides when we need to go look at tour colleges, maybe we'll do it over, because you and Donovan will have different spring breaks. Maybe we'll do it over your spring break, and then we'll just pull Donovan out of school. So that way you'll get to go.
He gets a certain amount of days.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do if I'm like, you're going over, it's a college preparatory high school. And so are they really going to get bent if we pull them out of school to go look at colleges in a foreign country? Because that's the time that we can do it. I mean, kids don't come back from winter. Kids don't come back from winter break because like they're in Disney. So just in Disney. So if they're going to get bent over Donovan looking at colleges, I'm not going to have a whole lot of patience for that.
My computer's good.
Better give it CPR.
I know how to give CPR.
Oh, that's right. You're certified now. Yeah.
I am certified.
How about that?
Oh my God, I got my last paycheck and I forgot that I had worked extra hours and it was really nice.
Big time.
I didn't take my Saturday into account.
Aha. So favorite thing in London was tea?
Yeah, tea and the football match.
Tea and the football match. Football, I would flip the order. I would say football match and then tea. And then the Ted Lasso tour was a close third.
Yeah, that's what I would rank. Oh, yeah, Third Man Records. It was nice to complete the trifecta.
Yeah. I would say to anybody listening, if you're a sports fan and you have the opportunity to go over to the UK and see a football match, don't be scared off by the cost. Just do it. It was a really cool experience.
Well, and probably, I mean, if you get the hospitality ticket, you get a meal and 4 drinks too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get a
we
discount.
didn't use all 4 drinks, but
Get a discount in the team shop.
except
So
they
we
wouldn't let
used-
me get my dessert pizza.
They would not. That was not part of the hospitality.
They're a little cheap with what was included in the hospitality deal.
Nothing. My piri piri chicken was outstanding. Best
Well,
stadium
me
food
and
I've ever
Mom
had.
we just wanted to split a pizza because we didn't want to waste food. So I thought, oh, I could use the meal ticket for a little dessert during halftime. But no,
Nope. No go. No go on
that's
the dessert
okay. I had
pizza.
wine instead.
It's okay. You
That was
had
my
wine
dessert.
instead. Yeah. Fun fact, you cannot bring alcoholic beverages to your seats at a Premier League stadium. You can
People
only
definitely were.
you could had alcohol at their seats?
Yeah.
No.
People definitely snuck some in after halftime.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
You told us no drinks, so I drank my water really fast and then
Yeah, I did see
That's
then
okay.
they were allowing
Waters and
waters
sodas.
and sodas in. And I saw someone bring a pizza in. I thought it was no food or beverages at all. Apparently it's just no alcohol. But if you say people snuck stuff in, who might argue? So
There's a
Anyway.
will, there's a way.
where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, highly recommend the Premier League experience if you're not even a football fan, just like a sports fan. It was a really cool sports experience.
Or if you're not a sports fan.
Or if you're not a sports fan and just want a really cool, authentic local experience. It was a lot of fun. Cool. All right. Anything you want to add about the trip?
That was
Awesome.
a long episode.
I have all that. We had a lot to cover for 5 days over in the UK. All right. So your first full week of class this week?
Yeah.
Right on.
But I don't have class until 1 every day.
Gives you more time to do homework.
No, that's the plan. I have a psychology reading that I'm going to do tomorrow morning because I already
Perfect.
spent most of my day doing home today.
Alright,
So
make sure you set an alarm.
I will.
Make sure you start your car. It's going to be really cold.
I will.
you will
walk over
you
there
will end up with a
tomorrow.
dead battery.
And I have to fill up I have to get a full
That
tank.
too. Fill up your gas
I'm
tank.
at half a tank right now.
Yes, fill up your gas tank.
I
Make sure
will.
you start your car once or twice a day when it's below 0 to make sure your battery doesn't die. Awesome.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Have a great week.
Thank you.
I will talk to you during the week. The listeners will not. So
I might see you on Friday. I'm planning on seeing you on Friday.
Yeah, mom's surgery is on Tuesday, and you volunteered to come home and help out this weekend, which is awesome. So,
yeah,
much appreciated. We will see you this weekend. Looking forward to
Awesome.
it. Awesome.
If the weather allows for it.
Hopefully, I don't think it's supposed to snow. You should be all right.
Yes.
Cool. All right. I will see you in person soon. I will talk to you before that.
Aye.
Awesome. Love you, kiddo.
You too.